Hello guys, good day to all of you. Alright, so today we're gonna discuss all about the C++ function. Alright, so let us start our discussion. So what is a C++ functions? Alright, so a C++ function is known as the block of code that runs when it is being called. Okay, so it is also be used to pass data into function using the parameter. Alright, so that is the function. Okay, so let's proceed to the objective of the topic. Okay, so the objective of this topic is all about students are able to implement the C++ function into the program. Second, know how to pass data among the function. Third, understand the importance of implementing the function into the particular programming problem. And the last one is identify and describe the two different types of the function. Alright, so I hope these objectives will attain at the end of this discussion. Alright, so let's proceed. Now let us discuss the two types of function. What are the two types of function? Usually the two types of functions are, first, the standard library function. Okay, the second is user-defined function. Alright, so let us tackle each of the types. Okay, so let us go to the standard library function. Okay, so the standard library function is a function that is already defined in the program. Alright, so standard meaning it is being standardized in the particular programming language. Okay, so you cannot change that one or replace that one. Alright, so the int min is the standard function in the C++ programming language. So you don't need to define this function anymore. Alright, so you are not going to define this function anymore. It's because it is being stabilized in the programming language. So since int main is the standard in the programming language, so you cannot remove or change it to whatever name that you want. Okay, so you cannot change the name, you cannot change the format of that function. Alright, so I hope you will understand that one. Okay, next is all about the user-defined function. Okay, what is a user-defined function? So usually user-defined function is the function which is being defined by the user or a programmer. Alright, so you are the one to define this function, or if you are a programmer, then you are the one who are going to define this function in order to what? Define specific function in your program. Okay, so it states here a user-defined function is a function that is being defined by the programmer to perform a specific task in the program. Okay, so when the function is invoked from any parts of the program, so it all executes the codes defining in the body of the function. Okay, so that is the user-defined function. What is a user-defined function again? Alright, so user-defined function is a function that is being defined by the user or the programmer. Alright, so let us go to the benefits of using user-defined function. What are the benefits of this? First, we have the functions make the codes reusable. Alright, so when we use the user-defined function, we can reuse the code. Okay, so you are not going to type and type and type again the same code in your program. Instead, you're going to define a function in order to maximize or minimize that one. Okay, so we can declare them once and use them multiple times. Okay, so you can use the user-defined function multiple times, but you only declare that one one time. Okay. Next, function make the program easier as each small task is divided into a function. Alright. So a function can make your program easier. Okay. So meaning it is easy for you to make a program, okay, using a function. Alright. Third, function increased readability. Alright, so meaning your program can be read accordingly or can be read uh, clearly, okay, to the reader or to the user. Alright, so that is the benefits of using the user-defined function. Okay, so let us proceed. C++ function declaration. So how are we going to declare a function? What are the particular parts of declaring a function? Okay, so let us go to the syntax. So our syntax here is return type, function name, open parentheses, parameter 1, parameter 2, and so on. Okay, and then close parameter. So when you declare a function, you need to have a return type, a function name, okay, and the parameter. Alright, so please remember, when you declare a function, you need to have the return type, the function name, and the last one is the parameter. Okay, and don't forget also to put the body of the function. Okay, so with the open curly brace and close curly brace, this is the body of your function. Alright, so always remember that one. Example, declare a function. So let us have a function called result. So I have here a function result. Okay, and my data type is void. What is the meaning of void? Void means the function doesn't have a return value. Okay, so meaning you are not going to return a value if your data type or data type of the function is void. Okay, and then open close parentheses. So this one, so if you are not using a parameter which is having a variable int a, float b, float c, okay, so you can as is the parameter, just put open and close parameter if you are not using any parameter in your program. So if your goal is to call is just to call the function, then you don't need to put a parameter. It depends on the process of your program, okay, or the definition of your function. It depends on that. Alright, so we can discuss that one later about the parameter, how the parameter works, okay, inside the function. Alright, so for now, let us focus on how to declare a function. So this is on how to declare a function. You have the data type, the name of the function, okay, then the parameter, and don't forget also the body of the function. So I have here the body of the function. I wrote cout welcome to the club. Okay, so this will execute when the function is being called. Alright, so this is the example on how are you going to declare a function. Alright, so let us proceed to the next slide. Okay, next slide will represent of having or calling a function. Okay, calling a function from your program. Okay, so how are you going to call a function? Okay, so it states here, so since int in the previous, okay, sorry for the spelling, so in the previous slide, so here we have declared a function named result. Okay, so we have declared the function name result. In order to use the result function, we are going to call it. Okay, so we will call the function, which is call the function function name result. So this will demonstrate how we can call above result function. Okay, so this one. So here we declare the function, and this slide will demonstrate how are you going to call a function. Okay, so to call a function, so you are going to use the standard function of the program, which is the int main. Okay, so this is the standard function of our program in C++. So int main, open close parenthesis, so this is our parameter for the int main, and then this is the body of the function main. Alright, so to call a function, so this is our comments. Call a function. So to call a function, just write the name of the function here that you have declared above. Okay, this one. Okay, since you have declared this function, then if you are going to call this one, just call the name only. Okay, this one, call the name only. You don't need to include the data type. Okay, it's because you only call the name of the function, not included the data type. Okay, so please remember on that. Alright, so now let us combine the two. So we declare the function, and after we call the function. Alright, so let us proceed to the next slide. Okay, this is the example on the process of calling a function. Alright, so we have here a program or a code, which is include IOStream using namespace std. Sorry for this is small letter. Alright, so C++ language is very case sensitive, so you need to be careful on typing your text. Okay, so if it is small, then you should make it small. If it is capital, then you need to make it capital letter. Alright, so here this will demonstrate the process of calling a function. So we have here the void result. Okay, the one that we are declaring. Okay, in the previous. So the void result, then we have here the body of the function, body of this function, which is I only put the comment code. It's because we are going to write a code here in the body of the function. And then open close parenthesis, okay, to close the body. Then proceed to the main function. Okay, so main function, then this time we will call the function that we have declared above here. Alright, so to call this one, you are going to just write the name of the function. So this one, just write this one, do not include the data type. Alright, so we have the function, and we have declared the function, and we have called the function. Okay, so what is the process? So the process is the program will read here in the predefined function, and after it will check here in our main function. So if this function is being called here, then what will happen? This will this will return a value. Alright, this will give whatever value here into this function. Okay, so this is now the passing of function, or passing a value into the function. Alright, so it is being called function call. Okay, it's because the function is being called in here in our main function. Alright, so that is why it is called function call. Alright, so how to demonstrate this one in having a value? Alright, so just like for example this one. Okay, so we have the same function result, we have the same calling result paghapon. Alright, so this is our declaration, void result. Then this is now our statement inside the body of the function. Okay, so cout welcome to Norsu. Alright, so cout welcome to Norsu, meaning this will execute when the time comes that the function will be called here in the main function of our program. Alright, so let us proceed here. So calling the function, so we just call the name of the function here. For what? What is the purpose of calling this function? To execute whatever value that is being written in the body of the function. Okay, so if ever the function is being called here in the main function, whatever value that is being written here, so this is the value. Okay, whatever value that is being stored here in the function, this will be going to, or this will execute. Okay, so how this execute? How this program executes? What is the output of this program? So let us see. I have here an example. I am using div C++. Okay, so let me share it to you. Okay, this one. So same codes that we are using. So we have here the function result, the data type, which is the void. So this is our declaration of the function. This is the statement inside the body of the function. Okay, so in the main function we have called the what? We have called the result, which is the name of our function. Okay, then we have here the return 0. Okay, so how is this value coming out? Okay, this will come out as what I've said. This will come out, or this will display on the screen if ever the function is being called here in the main function. Alright, so let us run this one if this result will come out. Alright, here, as you can see, we have here welcome to Norsu. Okay, where is that coming from? That is came from here in the body of our function. Okay, so meaning when we call the function, whatever value, whatever the statement here, this will be executed and provide the output. Okay, so sir, what if you are not going to call this function name? Okay, what will happen to the program, or what will happen to the result? So let us see. We are going to use this as a comment, so meaning this will not execute anymore. It's because comment is just a comment. Okay, so let us start running this one. What will happen? Alright, there, as you can see, there is no output. Why? It's because we did not call the function that we create. How come this statement will execute without calling that one, right? So in order to come up, or in order to show this as an output, you need to call first the what? Function here. Alright? Okay, So I hope you will understand this one. Okay, so this is the process of calling a function. Alright, so for now we are not using parameter. Later on in the next slide, maybe we are going to use a parameter. So I hope you learned something here on how to call a function. Alright, so again, before this will come up, you need to call your function name in order to what? Give the output welcome to Norsu. Alright, so let me close this one and let's go back to our discussion here. Okay, so that's all for the calling of a function. Okay, so your activity is this one. So this would be an individual activity. What are you going to do? So your activity 1, create at least one program demonstrating the concept of calling a function. Alright, so you are gonna create a program based on my example. You're going to create your own program. Do not copy my example. Create your own program that will demonstrate on how to call a function. Alright, okay, it depends on you on what particular program are you going to use or going to create in order to demonstrate what I have discussed. So it's up to you. Okay, so that's the activity 1. Alright, so now let us proceed to activity to our lesson number 2. Okay, our lesson number 2 is all about function parameters. Yes, function parameters. So this is now one of the a little bit complex. It's because we are using parameters. Okay, so how are we going to use parameters in the program? Okay, so let me discuss. So it states here, a function can also be declared with parameters. Yes, or what we call arguments. A parameter is a value declaring a function. Alright, so example, we have here the void. Okay, this is our data type and this is our function name. Okay, now we have two parameters. We have int a and float b. Okay, so int meaning for storing for a whole number. Float is for storing for a decimal number. Alright, so open close parenthesis. So this is our declaration here and the definition of our function. So this is the definition of our function. So this is demonstrate, or this will define how the function works in your program. Okay, so I have written here a statement. See out, your daily salary is A. See out, your monthly income is B. Okay, why did I write this one? Why not directly put specific data what is being said or how in your daily salary? It's because we are gonna what pass a value into this function. Okay, so this will demonstrate how are you going to pass a value from the main function to the what predefined function, which is the print value. Okay, so I'll just write the variable name here. It's because whatever value coming to this or storing into this variable will be going to be an output. Alright, so the definition will define how the function works within the program. Yes, that is very clear. Next, function parameters. So this is the parts of the function parameters. So the int and float is our data type, and the variable a and b inside the function is what we call the parameter. Okay, so this one int a, int a and int b. Alright, so these are our parameters. So you can have a lot of parameters. It depends on the process, or it depends on the uh, output of your function. Okay, so you can have many parameters. Okay, so here, as what I have demonstrated, I only have two parameters, which is the int a and float b. Okay, so the parts, we have the data type and the function name and the parameter int a and int b. Okay, so this is what we call parameter, or what we called a while ago an arguments. Okay, parameter or arguments, just the same. Alright, so parameter is used to be a storage for all the data that is being passed into the function. Okay, so storage, that is just a storage collecting values, which is coming from the main function to the predefined function. Alright, next, here, example of the program that demonstrated how a function parameters work. Alright, so this is the complete program. Okay, so it's stated here, hashtag include iostream using namespace std. Okay, we have here the declaration of the function. So avoid display value int a and b. Okay, you can use different name. It depending on your, or depending what you need, what you want. Okay, so what I want is just this one. To this, I named it display value. It's because this function I want to display the value, which is coming from here, from the main function. Okay. So for you, it depends on you on how you're going to write the name of your function. Okay. So let us discuss. So we have here function, the parameters. Alright. So the definition of the function here. Okay. Then we have here the main function. Okay. So I have declared two variables here. Let me change this one first. What is that? So value a. I use this one num1, and this one is num2. Alright, there. And I will change this one into num1, and I will change this one also num2. Okay, so now I have declared here a variable num1 which has a value of 5, and a float num2 which has a value of 2.3, so decimal point. So what I am going to do this one, I will pass this value. Okay, I will pass this value into this function. Okay, here I will pass all these values into this function. Alright, so how am I gonna do it? Here I called the value, display value. What is this? This is our function name. Alright, so meaning I will be calling the function and passing this value into this function. Okay, so how to pass? As you can see, the variable here, the variable name here are not the same in here in our function. That's because I am using this variable name It's because of this. This is the variable that I declared in the main function. So I will use this name in order to what? Pass this value into here. Okay. So ito ang parameter A. And another, this variable name, I will pass the value of this to the variable float B. Okay. So, to do that, I'm just gonna write the name of this variable and this variable inside the parameter of the function. So, num1, I use this one here. Num2, I write also here. Okay, so meaning, whatever value carrying this variable and this variable will be going to transfer here at the top in our parameter inside this function. Okay, so whatever variable name here, if you want to pass the value of those variable, just write the name of the variable name here. Do not include the data type. Okay, please remember that one. So, to call the function, call the name of the function here that we created, and do not use this variable. Why? It's because we are using this one. This is the one that we declare in this function, in our main function. So that is why you're going to put your variable name here and also here. If ever you have three variables here, you need also to have three parameters here. Okay, in order for that to display the value. Alright, so after this one, so meaning I already called the function and transfer the value of num1, which has the value of 5, num2, which has the value of 2.3. So assuming that this value are now going to transfer here into our parameter. So to get the value of this and this, we need to display the result in order to see the correct process, or to see if the instruction or if the process is correct. Okay, so if A has a value of 5, which is this one, and B has the value of 2.3, then meaning passing this variable or passing this value here in the parameter is successful. Alright, so to see this one, let's go to the div C here. Okay, so I already created a value, a code. I already created a code. So same code from the discussion that we have discussed. So let us see what will happen to this program. Okay, so we have here A. We want to show the value of A and B. Okay, assuming that our value now has a value of 5 and the value of B has a value of 2.3. It's because we already passed this value. Right, let me change this first. num1, num2. Okay, let me change this also. num1 and num2. Alright, there. So let us see. Let's run this program. There. As you can see on my statement here, our output is the same. The value of variable A is 5 and the value of variable b is 2.3. How come? Have you wondered? I think no, if you understand my discussion or in my explanation. Alright, so how does this happen? It's because we pass this value into our function. Okay, so since we call this function and putting this value here using the variable that I used, so this has a value of 5, this has a value of 2.3, then now we are going to pass this value here. Okay, so as you can see, where is that? Here. There. As you can see here, this will demonstrate how is it happen. So starting here, okay, so we have created here the value variable num1 and num2, and then we call the function name, then we put the variable name that we declared here in the main function. So to variable putting here, and then the arrow is going up here, meaning all the value that is being carried from the function that is being called will be transferred into this function. Okay, so that is why the result of our program is correct. Alright, so we successfully passed the value from the main function into the predefined function that we have declared. Alright, okay, so I hope you understand this. Okay, so if you have any question or clarification about this process, then you can directly PM or mention me in our group page. Alright, so let's go back. Okay, here, so we all done for the two lessons that we have discussed, declaring a function, okay, and the function parameter and calling the parameter. Okay, so let's proceed to your activity number 2. Okay, what is your activity number 2? So first, demonstrate on how to create a function with a parameter. Okay, you will be the one to demonstrate how to do it. Alright, document that one and send it into the system. Okay, below on this, or your respond on this discussion is your answer, okay, to the two activity. Okay, so first, demonstrate on how to create a function with a parameter. Second, provide a sample program that demonstrates the process of passing the data into the function using the parameter. Okay, so just like this one, but do not do not copy this example. Write your own program, okay, based on my discussion, and I want you to here document all your process. How did you do it? Document that one, and you're gonna send me a video and you're gonna explain how the process works. Okay, then note, do not copy the given sample in the presentation. Create your own program that will ask a value from the user. Alright, so since we are on the programming 2, so I hope you already know how to create a program asking a value from the user. It's because that is what that is the discussion during our programming 1. Okay, so I am expecting your output, good output on this activity. Okay, so once again, Guys, please take note on all the discussions that we have today. Okay, so I hope you learned something today, and may God guide you always. Okay, so God bless you, and please take care of yourself always. Bye bye. See you on the next lessons. So our next lesson is function with return statement and function prototype. Okay, bye bye.